hiking could have made her dizzy, could have made her disoriented, and if she fell because of that, it would be an accident. And we know that's what happened because after hiking that trail for the second time that day, she got dizzy. She got disoriented, it was dark, and she fell. Both doctors agreed that that was an accident. For the state to meet their case today, they also had to bring witnesses that you could trust. But they didn't. First, they brought Corbin Dallas up to that stand, who testified that she wasn't there that day. She didn't see anything that happened on the trail, but nonetheless, she is convinced that Jordan Ryan was guilty. That's why she testified against Miss Ryder. Can you trust her testimony, members of the jury? Then they brought that medical examiner who changed her conclusion about Parker's cause of death to a homicide only after speaking to the police. She told you on that stand that she only considered the evidence the police chose to bring her. Then they brought their star witness, Kelly Dews. Their witness who tried to tell you that everything he saw on that trail was cause for concern, but then he had to admit, on that actual day, he wasn't worried. Members of the jury, you know that Mr. Dews was primed by the police who thought Miss Ryder was a villain. He gave his testimony. He wrote his affidavit only after hearing the police say Miss Ryder should be in prison. That's why the state didn't bring you that lead detective today. Because they know that bias would have come out on cross-examination. They know that their police officers didn't give Miss Ryder the treatment she deserved. They treated her like a villain. When tragedy happens, it makes sense to want someone to blame. But that's not always the case, members of the jury. But that's what the state is trying to push on you. They're trying to say that an innocent woman committed a heinous crime when her daughter's death was just an accident. The state found a victim. They looked for their villain. But don't let them make Miss Ryder a villain. I want you to take one step further than the state. I want you to look at all of the evidence the state failed to consider. I want you to see Miss Ryder as the person she is. And then you'll see the truth. Find Miss Ryder not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Your Honor, may I inquire as to how much time I have remaining?
You have 70 seconds, minute 10.
All right. May I proceed?
You may.
Now, Ms. Campbell talked a lot about these text messages, as if they were a reason to believe that Parker Page came back from the hunt. But isn't it interesting that the message was sent just 2 minutes before Mr. Dews heard Parker scream? And it's even more interesting if you look at what the message says. It says, Jordan is angry right now. 2 minutes before she killed her daughter. And then they talked about the police investigation as if it were a reason to doubt our case. But I want to ask you, how does that change any of the evidence we actually have in court today? How does it change the location of Parker's body? How does it change what Miss Ryder wrote on that napkin? How does it change the fact that the defendant's hiking staff matched Parker's bruise to the millimeter? The fact is, members of the jury, it doesn't. Find her guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Round 3 in the books. While they finish their tabulation, everyone